Hi everyone, this is Devleena, your host, welcoming you all to another thrilling episode of Icons Behind Brands. And today we have got the privilege of hosting Mr. Nikhil Jaitly, a seasoned professional with over 12 years of experience as a leader of product marketing at sa.global, a global Microsoft business partner. Nikhil's vast experience spans regional and global roles at esteemed organizations like IBM and Publicis Group. So, join us as we explore his passion for the intersection of technology and marketing and how it shapes unique customer relationship in the business landscape. A very warm welcome to you, Nikhil.
Thanks, Devleena, and it's a pleasure to kind of join you for this conversation today.
Nikhil, technology, and marketing. So we have been talking about this, and I'm very passionate about understanding how it helps. So we will get into that. But before that, we would love to know about your journey, your background, how you have started, and where you have reached.
Sure. So I was born in New Delhi. I was raised there. Did my schooling from there, and then I decided to another mutual decision between my parents and me that it's better if I move out and go to college in a different city. So and I think that was a very pivotal moment in shaping my personality today, because stepping out of home right after school, going to a different city, making new connections, making new friends, I think that taught me a lot in life. Open up and meeting different people with different mindsets, I think expanded my horizons quite a bit. So I think fantastic move for me to kind of just step out of my comfort zone and move, and that's brought about a lot of lessons for me today in my current life today. So one, never say no to a new opportunity. Any new great opportunity should be received, and you should kind of be brave enough to venture into that. Living in a new city at that young age also kind of got built-in survival instincts into me, and how to kind of survive. Obviously, living in college teaches you a bunch of other elements, and living with hostel mates is a truly different experience. So I think anybody who's in a young stage or still figuring out their move to college and what they want to plan, I think it's you should step out of your comfort zone and move out to a different city if your college selections allow you for that kind of thing. Also, apart from that, right after college, I started working with Publicis Group, as you were mentioning. That was my first job. It was a fun experience because a media agency got me exposed to a bunch of industries, bunch of brands that I was working with. And towards the end of the stint, I was particularly working with, interestingly, Microsoft. At that time, they were our clients. That got a lot of interest around technology into me at that moment, because it was the pickup on Microsoft just launched Azure. Their cloud services were coming in. It was a completely new world, unheard terms and technologies that I was venturing into. Again, something new that I said yes to. And I just continued reading a lot about IT at that point of time. And fortunately for me, the opportunity with IBM came across at that time. And I spent 6 years over there working through different roles, understanding marketing and technology during that journey. And I think that's shaped a lot of my understanding about IT. And today I look after product marketing for two products at sa.global, which are purpose-built for professional services organizations. So it's a new industry that I had to learn. Again, something new that I said yes to. And I think saying yes to new things has been a mantra for me, at least.
So one common pattern which I'm seeing is the new. You are always welcome to the unknown. You are always pretty encouraging towards saying yes to anything which is new. And I think the common natural human behavior is like, we know change is the only constant, but we also get scared with the changes, right? So as you have started with a life hack that moving out of your home and understanding how the life occurs outside your home, and that helps you understand the world in a very different way. So
absolutely.
So it's a great journey, Nikhil, I would say. I mean, great journey. And as you said, that never say no to the new, and always say yes to that. With that, from where you have started, from where you have reached, the mix of marketing and technology. So let's understand, if you could share some insights on the future of the B2B marketing and technology, and how emerging technologies might continue to shape the industries.
Sure. So when it comes to B2B marketing, I think it's B2B. In fact, marketing in any form is all about positively influencing some kind of a buying decision, right? And in this case, it becomes an organizational buying decision. So it's not just about a single person as in a B2C world, where if I want to buy a shoe today, I can just go do my bit of research and make that decision on my own, right? But it doesn't happen that way in a business world. So it's not about positively just influencing one person's decision, but it comes to more of a buying group that you need to kind of influence within an organization. Okay. So I think that's the primary goal of any B2B marketer. How can you kind of get your products and services in front of a larger group, tailoring that message out to those particular individuals, right? And general research basically says that group is within most mid-sized to large-sized organizations now ranges between 10 to 12 people. So imagine the complexity that any B2B marketer has to do in terms of framing custom or personalized messages to and that group comes from different functions, right? So say for example the product that we sell today, business applications, it's a large investment for any organization, so it's the decisions are slow. There are a lot of people involved in that decision. So if you're buying a finance system, it's not just a finance team, it's also the IT team, it's also the project teams, because their systems have to connect. It's also somebody sitting on a governance role in that organization. So you need to kind of tailor messages to suit every outcome in that particular role, right? So that's the complexity when it comes to B2B. And technologies are here to help all marketers in to kind of personalize this experience for their target audience. So I think technologies which can help personalize the experience for the buyer, and technologies that can help marketers personalize the targeting for those specific individuals within the organizations are going to shape this industry, and there are a bunch of them in the market today, right? So it's a problem of plenty rather than a problem of few. So it's the key skills for marketers in this domain would be to kind of understand what adds value for their business, because every technology is great. There's no technology vendor in the market that would say that their technology doesn't perform as great as the other competitors does, right? So it's up to the organization and the marketer in that role to kind of decide is this going to add value to what we are trying to achieve. So always have a focus towards outcomes, and that will help you guide your decision. I think some of the other technologies that are key today are obviously AI is the elephant in the room. You just can't ignore it. I think a lot of people, there's a mixed opinion today. It's a relatively new technology, but how do people really use it? And there's a lot of fear in the market, I would say, where people think that it's going to replace their jobs. Now, I don't see that as a scenario in the next 5 to 10 years at least. So the way that we look at AI today is to treat it as a trusted advisor, use it as a friend rather. So who's got not a trusted advisor, I would remove the word trusted, sorry. So you still need to fact check what AI is doing, because AI, as you've seen recent examples of lawyers using AI and going to court and being said that the case that AI cited isn't accurate. So you really need to do fact check AI on what it's putting out as an output. So that's where the human intelligence comes into play, where you can use AI to come up with different frameworks, and maybe you can outline at least a broad. So if you're writing a blog, you can at least start with the framework. What do you want to cover? You have something in mind. You want it to articulate. You'll end up with some output, and then use your own intelligence to kind of enrich that with better examples that you think your customers or your prospects would appreciate. So I think that's a better way to use AI rather than just relying on it to create everything for you. That's not a situation that I see in the next few years at least. But I think there's going to be a lot of demand for people who understand AI and are able to use it effectively for short wins. I would say small wins are what AI can help you achieve faster. It's ultimately, I would say it's at a borderline of machine learning and AI. So there's no true AI at the moment as well. It's all based on what the machines and algorithms have been taught. So even if you want to use ChatGPT today, you'll have to tell it a lot of things about your business before it can start actually producing better outputs. Right. So that's another area that I think businesses are looking at. Also, what's changed B2B quite a bit in the last few years, at least since the last 10 years that I've been into this domain, is that a lot of lessons are coming in from the B2C domain, because all of us are at the end of the day consumers in our own life as well, right? So the experiences that we are seeing in our own consumer life is what we are starting to expect in our B2B lives as well, right? So you want faster purchases, you want ease of purchasing, you want quicker advices. You don't want to talk to a salesperson before you actually made up your mind, right? So all those things are I think that's what's changed marketing from being treated as a cost center only to becoming a profit center as well. We have targets on ourselves, so and we take pride on that because we are contributing to business. We know exactly what contributed back to the business. So technologies in the sense of marketing automation, I think that's and there are a bunch of technology stacks out there which help you get deeper client insights, integrate all your first party and third party data together. I think that's the data story is becoming a marketer's true friend, right? So if marketer, I think I would call marketers as the custodians of data within the organization, at least for the sales and marketing function. They should be the ones who are able to bring together all that data, use that data as a growth engine, and at least be the unit that integrates and presents sales and marketing data as a single source of data, right? It sounds very easy, but trust me, it's not an easy task to do. There are organizations, both large and small, who struggle to do this. Integrating data is a massive pain for most organizations, I believe. Also, what's happened, most of this has been fueled because of our own doing over the last few years. Everybody's gone in and with the rise of cloud, everybody's gone in and brought any web solutions, any solutions that they think were best at that time, right? So you bought best of breed, but now if you talk to anybody in IT, they're all going to say that just because of all this doing within every single department, it's not just marketing, but marketing has more solutions to work with. It's just resulted in a tech ecosystem that's so fragmented. So the organization, I think, who are getting better results are the ones who are able to integrate all the data sources. So that's again something a person in marketing should be understanding. What are data sources? What do you need to integrate? What are the outputs you require from your systems? And that will help you decide a marketing stack for yourself.
Right. So, Nikhil, you have spoke a lot about technology within this, 1 or 2 minute. You have actually touched upon almost every aspect which is going on right now, from AI to machine learning, from the B2C and B2B. As you said, B2B, we are taking a lot from the B2C segment as well, because the principles are same, fundamentals are same. So ultimately it's all customers and the client. So some of the parts are always taken, and you have also covered the AI, which we are talking right now. That is the buzzword right now, and a lot of curiosity about AI. And a bit of fear as well. So as you said, they could be your friends, but they're not going to replace you for sure, because anyways, your creative inputs are very much important to get the desired output. And what I could summarize with this, technology is there to help you as a marketer. But as a marketer, it's very important to build that storyline and put it towards your customer with a very humanized and personalized way. And that input only a human can give, and the human can command to the technology, and that's how the technology will help you to get the desired output, right? Yeah. Okay, so you spoke about personalization, Nikhil. So let's touch upon that as well. So, in what ways has personalization become an essential factor in marketing growth, and how can a business can effectively leverage it? So, in what level of personalization, if you could, touch a little on that segment as well.
Sure. So I think this entire bit comes heavily borrowed from the B2C world, right? So the way think of the Amazons, how whenever you go to your Amazon account, you will see goods that you probably have browsed in the past, maybe, or are related to your browsing history, but you may have never consciously looked for them. They are suggestions made by an algorithm running in the background, right? So um, and it's not when you go on those platforms, you find those technologies to be quite useful, because those are suggestions coming in probably at a relevant time. If they're at a relevant time and a moment that I wanted to probably buy that product, or maybe helps me make an impulse purchase, that's great for the brand, because you're able to pop up something at the right time for the right user. The same concept now adapted into B2B world. As I was just saying, that you're targeting a vast group within an organization, right? So it's not a single person that you're trying to go after. Now, if you're selling, say, storage solutions, IT storage solutions, right? So you would need to talk to somebody in IT. You would need to talk to different departments based on this. What department is requiring that storage. Similarly, as I said, think of business applications. A CRM application would be used between marketing, sales, and maybe even project delivery management. So these applications, they're used since they have so many users, the decision making is also quite fragmented between a bunch of users who have to, and their decisions are going to be, and these technologies basically last for a few years, so their decisions are going to be staying within their organization for at least 5 to 10 years, right? So it's a huge responsibility for anybody to make that purchase for their organization. So a marketer's responsibility in this stage would be to think about what would be the pains or challenges of an IT individual versus a sales and marketing leader versus a project leader. So and within them also you would then, these are your core target personas. Within them you would have influencer target personas, right? So and we always think of organizations and persona. That's how mind of a marketer would work. So you at that stage you would think about who are the influencers, who are the core people that you're targeting, and you would have different messages crafted out for the IT leader versus the project leader versus the sales and marketing leader. And all have their own challenges, all have their own ambitions to succeed in their role. So you need to balance out your messages in terms of appealing to them and giving them solid proofs as well, how your solutions are going to help them succeed. So that's where personalization comes in terms of content. Now, once you've created that content needs to be sent out to the right people at the right time. So that means you need to identify the right personas, which you've probably done before crafting the content. But you then also need to understand your personas' browsing or general behavior on the web. So you would want to understand what channels they go to, probably read news, probably do product reviews or comparisons. Who do they talk to? Are they talking to analysts? Should you be talking to those same analysts? So and then also the mediums on which they are consuming information. So all the content that you've produced, if that's personalized, that needs to go to the channel where these people are present and where they're browsing. So there are a bunch of, again, technology is the one that enables all this. So there are a lot of sophisticated marketing automation systems that help you do this, and there are also now vendor platforms that allow you to kind of go after targeted set of accounts. So there's it's not a new concept anymore, but account-based marketing is something that if you have a defined list of accounts you want to go after, they have to be small so that you can study them better. You can study every single decision maker in that buying group and then tailor your messages to them. So again, a lot of technology is available to do this. I'm not going to name any of them, but obviously even Microsoft provides. I can advocate them at least.
Okay. So, Nikhil, in this, rapidly changing landscape of technology, what skills do you think a marketer in India should need to succeed in the future, in the near future?
So I think not just India, but anywhere in the world, I think there are four key areas to understanding marketing, right? And I did kind of allude to it, but let me state it out more definitely. Those four things that, at least to me, would be the audience. You have to understand your buyer. You have to understand what products and services you're selling. The reason to understand your products and services is so that you can quantify the value of those services or products for your buyer. To understand content really well. And when I say content, it's basically again stemming from the buyer, because you're understanding their challenges, their ambitions, what they need to succeed in that role. You need to know what channels again. So where do they spend their time? How do you reach them? Where are they most engaged? And the most important of all is measure. So you have to measure every action. What impact did you create from that? If you don't measure it, you won't know, and you probably aren't spending on the right channel where your buyers are. So always measure every action that you're doing. And I think those four key steps put together is what every marketer should strive to understand.
Yeah, Nikhil, you have covered all aspects of marketing in those four steps, actually. So
very broad, but yeah, and every area I think has more detail under it. So as you go deep into those areas, you find nuances and how to of each area becomes quite large. So that's why I think it's important to understand different aspects of marketing as well. So there are different aspects to marketing that you need to kind of wrap your head around, and I think that only comes if you move and try different roles within an organization, if your organization allows you to do that. I was quite fortunate to have that with IBM, because they are quite flexible in terms of allowing you to move and change your roles and experience different, not only just product lines, but different areas of marketing as well.
True. And each aspects are, it's an ocean. I mean, we just have to little dive, all these four points which you said. Okay, so we will not do it right now. Okay, sure. So let's, because I have a lot of things to talk about, and I just want to touch upon each and everything, when you are here, Nikhil. Okay, so let's talk about social media and influencer marketing. How do you see the future of traditional marketing, traditional advertising methods such as TV commercials and print ads, when there is a rise of social media and influencer marketing?
Interesting, because as I was telling you right at the start, I started off with Publicis Group, and at that time, social media was the buzz at that time, just like AI is now. Every brand was trying to figure out, how do you do social? How do you get onto create a Facebook page for yourself? How do you get followers on Facebook? Getting followers, I think, was a big thing at that time, and this is back in 2010 when I just started working. I think social media has evolved significantly from those days to today. These platforms and organizations who have survived the wave of social media till now are now industry behemoths, right? Like Facebook, and they've acquired a bunch of applications under them now. But the likes of Snapchat and TikTok are quite prevalent, and it's used by a vast age group as well. So it's not just the early adopters or teens who are using it now, now as it was a few years back. But you can see everybody, my parents are on it. So everybody is trapped by the social platforms. But I think when you compare it to traditional media, I think traditional media still has its part to play. So obviously the media mix differs for every brand and depending on what industry you're in. There are reports that say the consumption of TV, print mediums, magazines, newspapers is dropping over the years. And people are making significant more investments in digital channels. I think it's also because the audience preference has changed, and that's also changed because of the low cost of data availability in our country. So everybody has a phone, everybody has a mobile-enabled internet device now, and that's fueled the consumption of digital content, right? And content includes advertising as well. I bunched that all together. Now, but you still need channels. So channels that have a mass reach, right? So for some B2C brands, for some mostly in the case of B2C brands, you want a vast reach to go out. So brands that would be successful in this journey, and there have been a lot of success stories. Nestle is one of the brands that really comes to mind for me. When I was Publicis, Nestle was a client of ours, and at that time they were looking to kind of rope in influencers, and I remember they had done a campaign around Nescafe and Maggie. They had they'd done a competition trying to identify who's the most enthusiastic Maggie eater, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. And then this was a campaign done on digital on Facebook, and they had acquired followers on Facebook in those days. And then they extended that campaign onto their TV commercials. So I think that was a fantastic story around how you connect a digital platform to something that's been a traditional media format, right? And then a lot of brands have done much more better campaigns around trying to connect offline and online technologies. So I think those kind of strategies, when brands kind of try to adopt, would be the most successful way to leverage both these medias.
So as a head of product marketing, what strategy do you employ to build and maintain a strong relationship with your team members, Nikhil?
Wow. Okay. So I think I've learned this through the various roles that I've in the organizations that I've worked with, and I've been very fortunate to have really good managers who shared their learnings with me as well, right? So I think some of the qualities that I've picked up and which helps in building stronger team relationships and stronger connects. And another important factor I would like to add before I dive into the answer is that I've always worked in global organizations, so and always had the chance to work with global teams. So even today, my immediate manager is based out in UK. Part of my team is based out in UK. Some are in Serbia, and then I work with sales teams across the world, right? So I think some of the qualities that have helped me kind of operate and build good connects with all these people that I work with is to lead with empathy. I think empathy is a very, very important quality to kind of, or rather, it's something that you can imbibe in yourself, but it should come naturally to you. Also, listening with intent is something that's very important. So, as your team members or or the people that you work with on a daily basis say something, is not that you just hear them and forget about it. You should be hearing their problems, their challenges. At the end of the day, we are all humans, right? So we should understand each other's. Maybe somebody is not able to make a meeting, or maybe they are busy or not available. And you should understand and respect their lives. Work, and specifically, this is even much more important when working in virtual teams, right? You're not connected, you don't see them on a daily basis, so it's even much more important in this scenario.
So, Nikhil, with that, now we will be moving towards a rapid fire round. We have talked a lot about technology marketing. Okay, so we are moving towards a little lighter section. Okay, so yeah, little loosen up. And it is going to help the viewers to know you as a person a bit more. Okay, so the rules are one word or as minimum as possible answer.
Word. Okay, I'll try to keep it brief. I have never succeeded at one-word answers.
Actually, my one or two questions it might demand you to answer in few more words, so you can go ahead however you feel like. Yeah. Okay. So, what has been your favorite age so far?
I very clearly remember my 10th birthday. So.
Okay. So, what is your favorite work memory, Nikhil?
Just yesterday so this is something that we've been experimenting with AI for just internal communication and all. So I do this internal newsletter, and I used AI to create a text to image generated AI image, and I'd used that in the newsletter, and we put up branding and colors on that, and it took me 5 minutes to make it. Okay. When I sent it out, a colleague in Serbia replied back saying that really love the artwork on this, and I told him that this is done by AI. I shared a link with him. within 5 minutes, I had a response back from him where he's created his own AI image, and he had something written as a personalized thank you note for me.
So what advice would you give to an employee in their first day of job?
I think meet as many new people across different parts of your business. So that gives you a good understanding of your business on day one.
If you could not work in this industry, what profession would you pursue?
Farming, maybe, but I'll have to learn farming. I have no idea about it.
That's very different. AI to farming. So, when are you most productive?
After 2 cups of coffee in the morning.
What would you change about yourself, given a chance? What advice would you give to your younger self? Okay, so with that, we are just out of the rapid fire round. And Nikhil, before we wind up the conversation, I want you to talk with our viewers. There are a lot of marketing professionals, aspiring marketing professionals are there. So what would be your message for an aspiring marketing professional?
Well, if somebody's listened to this entire thing and they've made it this far, I think just to summarize what I've said so far, I think it's very important for marketers to understand your audience, understand the product and service you're selling, what value it adds for your audience, and then embrace data and technology. I think do these 3 things and you've got a bright future.
Short, crisp, and on point. Yeah. Thank you, Nikhil. I mean, that was precise and a very valuable point. And I thoroughly enjoyed the whole conversation. And I had a lot of other questions, I wanted to dig upon, but we have a shorter time. And I just tried touching upon various topics which we could dig from you. So thank you for agreeing on this and, coming to our platform. It was wonderful talking to you, Nikhil.
Likewise, Devleena, and thank you for having me on. It was a really delightful conversation. You got me to think about some answers as well. So lovely doing this and happy to chat in the future again.